You want to call the meeting to order?
I call it to order right now.
It's what, 9:30? Okay, all are in attendance except for John is excused and Pat is excused. Okay, Kathleen and Debbie. Barbara.
Thank you. Secretary's report.
You all have a copy of...
And have you had a chance to read it?
Yes. Do I have a copy?
On the bottom there's an actual copy of that. That's the postings I did.
Okay, these are the postings.
Yes,
for
did I
the
send
meeting.
it to you? Did I send it?
You didn't send me this, you just sent me the
Good
note,
note.
notice
Okay.
that you had done it. All right, I'll put that in my our folder. Absent are Pat, excused, Lorraine, Tony. Okay.
Do you see any corrections or omissions on the secretary's report?
We are going to be sending the COA meetings to the Board of Selectmen.
It's all set.
Yeah.
There is an error on here, my error. The first sentence, September 8th, 2014, Raynham Council on Aging Board meeting was called to order by Chairman Kathleen Roberts at 9:40 a.m. I have 8. I'm sorry. That will be corrected.
September 9th?
In the meeting, the minutes from the last meeting.
Okay, thank you. Okay.
I move that the minutes be accepted.
I second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. So roll the treasurer, please. Betty?
We don't get figures at this meeting, right?
It's
up to the board.
Meeting, I don't know, should it?
It's up to the
We
board.
never have.
No, just,
Basically tell us
Yeah.
what expenses, expenditures.
For September, the expenses were Tim LP, Margaret Evers mileage, Yvonne mileage, J. King janitor, Yvonne supplies for the kitchen, postmaster for stamps, PFs, 175, shouldn't say that. That's for the alarm service. Yvonne Quinlan, another pickup for supplies. Poland Spring, WB Mason, DeVal Printing, and Arts International Bakery. If you want to see the figures, you can.
Yeah.
And today, Yvonne's taking the voucher down for Columbia Gas, Elizabeth Moore mileage, and Janie King for janitor, alarm service and design, that's it once a year, and TMLP and Venetian blind repair.
thank you, Betty. Any corrections or revision?
The Remembrance Fund is the same as last month. And the donation account, we just added $110. You can see the figures if you'd like.
I move that the treasurer's report be accepted.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
So done. Outreach?
She's
Yeah,
coming.
she's coming. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, if we ever get, if she ever gets back.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she fell and broke her elbow last week. And when after she was in the hospital while the child broke her hip.
It's beautiful, beautiful.
Yes, sit down.
Oh, I know.
Okay, one of them.
Sure.
She always had a smile.
Oh, God, yes. She was like a little pixie.
I usually start before people have read it because I just go over it. So,
Go ahead.
the total visits this month were 35. I had 11 new visits and 24 revisits. 14 visits were shine visits, and only 4 were fuel because people have settled down and they've gotten their fuel recertifications done. And pretty much that's over, just in time for it to start again. Because this month, at the end of the month, the last week of the month, fuel assistance will open again. And there'll be, an influx of people that will want to sign up for fuel assistance. Young and old. The meetings this month and miscellaneous things, I attended a Shine meeting on the 3rd of September and came to the board meeting on Monday, the September the 8th. George Phillips, the gentleman who's the Shine volunteer who's helping us, has been on vacation this month, and he'll be back. He was on vacation last month. We'll be back this month to help out with Shine, which is good because open enrollment begins on the 15th of October. Everybody knows what open enrollment it is, right? Okay. Lisa Sarkis is going to come here and give her talk on the 9th of October this month. She does it every year, and it's very well attended. She goes over the new Medicare rules, regulations, and so forth. People have lots of questions, and of course, everybody that comes to the room wants an appointment with me, so that's interesting. It's
Speaking
good.
of that,
Go ahead.
I looked at my mail yesterday, and I had this thick book from Medicare.
Mm-hmm.
And I
For
wondered
2015.
how in the world some people can understand it.
Yeah.
I don't.
Well, they don't, pretty
No.
much.
That's why
And
Peggy-
many people come in and they bring me this whole stack of mail that's come. And they say, I don't understand any of this. And usually it's just ads for, everyone's trying to get you to buy their insurance.
Yeah. No.
It's really a challenge to weed out. The
It
average
is.
person, that's why Peggy's here, because the average person really has an awful time weeding through
Yeah.
it. It's in its own Byzantine way, it's like the IRS.
It's unintelligible,
Yeah.
a lot of it. And there are so many different kinds, each company sells so many different kinds of insurance that they don't understand which kind they have usually, unless they've come to counseling before, and then they usually do.
Mm.
So, that's good.
And Peggy, those open enrollment dates again are,
For
that Lisa's going to be
Shine,
talking about, yeah.
yeah, it's the 15th of this month through the 7th of December. And it's a time when anyone can change their Medicare, make a change in Medicare. There's only a certain period of time in which you can do this. And you can come in and I'll go through a drug assessment. I'll put your drugs online, people's drugs online, to see which plan. There are many plans. In Bristol County, I think there are about 9 or 10 different plans. And you just push a button and the thing on the computer will tell you which of those plans is the best plan based on your drugs. So people change during this time of year because they either cost less or pretty much because it costs less. They find one that costs less because the prices change all the time.
Well, it's very difficult for a senior citizen to understand the whole thing.
It's a process.
Yeah. Well, I have to go to a meeting every single month, as you know, to keep up with the newest regulations and what's going on with Medicare, because it changes, unbelievably. So hopefully we give our seniors the best information, the most up-to-date information there is, hopefully, if I can keep myself up with it myself.
You can. You always do.
No, I try. I just put a little case study in here, inserted it because it seemed to be a kind of interesting case study. It's the kind of thing that I do, visit people in their homes. Many times people have multiple problems, and it's pretty much my job to try to decide which of these multiple problems is the most foremost. What can I help these people with, in other words? And I met this woman this past month, and she seems to have so many problems that it stumped me, actually stumped me. I had to call I don't know how many agencies to see what they would do in a case like this. She has a dementia, which is one of the problems, but I didn't think it was the foremost problem. I thought maybe there were other problems underlying, maybe even psychological problems. I tried to get counseling for her, but that didn't work because counselors often don't see people with dementia. So that didn't work, and finally I ended up consulting with Bristol Elder Services, and she did have a caseworker there, which was good. And services have been put in. She has Meals on Wheels. She could have a homemaker, she could have a bunch of other things, but she is perfectly capable of all of that. Yet she has attacks of anxiety, and she cries out for help, but she doesn't really understand what kind of help she wants. And I don't understand totally, but this is the kind of client that I see, and I'm working I'll be working with her ongoing to see if there isn't something that can be done to help her with these frustrating anxiety problems that she has. Occasionally I bring to you a case that, is sort of gives you an idea of what I do. So that's that.
That's good. It's nice for us to know.
Lots of home visits to this gal. She loves home visits and receives me well, So that's good.
She's on meds. Is she on an anti-anxiety?
She has a lot of meds, yeah, she does. She has some, yeah.
Because I was going to say, if she gets anxious.
She has medical care for these things. It's not that she doesn't have that.
And she certainly has been visiting her doctor.
Just gets nervous.
Yeah, she visits her
Gets
doctor.
nervous.
Yeah,
She shouldn't be living alone.
she's under.
Well, and that's pretty hard to solve.
Yes, it is.
Anyway,
But her son's involved, so that's good.
yes, her
That's
son's
very good.
involved. He's involved and helpful.
Good.
And visits often.
And visits
That's good.
often. Yeah.
Mhm.
And then the last thing I put, nothing more has been done with the brown bag program, because as the council, as the board, we have to decide with Liz if we can handle something like a brown bag program. Remember we talked about it last month? In which we would receive the brown bag food bags from the Taunton church there that distributes them. We would have them here, and we would have people come in and pick them up. Remember how we talked about that?
I mean, as it's approaching the winter, it's probably something we should just put in the back burner right now. I mean, unless you don't find a dire need for it at this point.
No, because we have the food bank
Food
at
bank.
our own church here, which really functions beautifully. I mean, people are so thankful for that.
So I think it's
Yeah,
something we
really
can put on
like
the
it.
back burner and keep in mind for the future. I mean, we
Okay.
didn't give. It's at St. Thomas's Episcopal Church in Taunton,
Yeah.
which is where it formerly used to be Bristol Elder Services, which we learned last month, and now it's there. And we didn't give them any definite.
We didn't give them any answer,
Yeah,
no, and
so-
that's all right. I just didn't
But-
want you to think that I left it hanging.
No,
and
no.
I've been thinking about it, but it could be overwhelming to us if we got too many people that couldn't come and we would have to deliver.
And particularly with the winter coming, and I mean, I think it's something we can put on the back burner.
Okay.
At least we can revisit it. It is an option we have, which we didn't know we had
Yeah.
until we went to a show meeting.
That's right.
Yeah.
All right, does anyone any questions? Next month is going to be busy.
Fuel assistance.
Fuel assistance and open enrollment, both.
Oh, that's right.
Good.
And we should add Lisa Sarkis's visit is this Thursday, so that's usually very well attended, and we hope it's well attended this time because people have you've been seeing an upsurge in
Oh,
questions,
sure.
yeah, this time of
Oh,
the year.
sure.
This time of the
Everybody
year.
with their packages of, things they got in the mail, like you did. But,
Peggy, just a question for you. I know that Raynham is under TMLP, so it's obviously not under National Grid, which is
Thank God.
unfortunately is a problem you're going to have in Bridgewater, living in Bridgewater.
yeah.
Do you foresee any, change in any anticipation of increases in fuel prices in this area? I mean, have you heard anything?
I've heard nothing, but I can't imagine that if the other National Grid isn't going to increase their price, that even a local
Well, they had a good
municipality
article
would.
in the Gazette that say
Yeah.
TMLP, and they are gonna have a
Yeah.
little, but not like National Grid.
No.
And it's because of the natural gas. So anybody who has gas heat, not oil, but the gas heat, they're gonna be affected because the gas heat's going
That's-
up.
Yeah, that's all right.
And that- well, they
Sorry to
said-
say, but that's the story.
No.
The TMLP did say they have an adequate supply, they just don't have the facilities, the pipelines are not large enough to carry the gas through to the people.
TMLP delivers gas too? I thought
Well,
No,
they have
TMLP
to
was
have the
electric.
gas.
No, they have to have the
They need
gas
to
for the electric.
Oh.
No, they don't do that.
Unless anticipation.
And the thing about a municipality is they usually don't give bonuses and credits.
Right.
Right.
Sometimes they accept fuel assistance, of course. If you heat with electricity, you can get fuel
Right.
assistance with them. But a lot of the other companies in other towns give discounts and so forth, but a municipality is already a low-priced.
Right, it's so
Entity.
low, and they do give you a discount if you pay your bill within a certain amount of
Yeah.
days.
Right.
They do
They
give you a
do.
discount.
And if you buy certain, what do you call them, appliances for your home.
Yes, they'll give you,
Right,
they
they give you a nice
yes,
rebate.
yes.
Efficient
No,
appliances.
we're blessed to
Right.
have TMLP, that's
Yes,
for
we
sure.
are.
Oh, gosh.
Okay,
Thank you very much.
Do you
Okay,
have my report?
I do. I hope it's here.
I
It
make
might
a
be in my
motion,
I got an
office.
extra, I got an
Oh,
extra.
do you?
I make a motion to accept the outreach report.
A second.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much.
I've got a whole packet in here somewhere.
I
What do you want?
I want to give her my,
Your report?
sorry, Peggy.
That's all right, I have it, just, I have it in my office.
Okay, then we'll go on to your report, Liz.
Okay, the MBTA pass photos. We processed pass photos and forms for 27 people recently, last week actually. We have 15 people signed up for the next session, but we're waiting till we have at least 20 because of course the TMLP, I'm stuck on the TMLP. The MBTA needs at least 15 people, the forms for 15 people and the photos before they'll process them. And I like to be sure we have those 15, so I like to go a little bit over just in case people cancel, but so far nobody's been canceling.
Excuse me, this was the first
This is-
session.
it's the
This will be
second.
the second
No.
coming?
The third's coming.
Third
This was the
coming,
second I
okay.
did last week. I did the first in August. We
Okay.
had 28 people in August, I believe, 27 this time. It's been very, very well received, even beyond what I thought it was going to be, to the point where I'm probably going to be doing it every month or every other month. I mean, when the winter comes, who knows if people will want to come out and do it, but it's been very well received by people.
I know they come from other towns also. Would you say the
The
percentage is
majority, in fact, I
very-
counted them because I knew you were going to ask me that. Yes, 17 of them were from Raynham.
Wow, that's really good.
And I should add, most of them that come in are people we've never seen before, and people who never have had an MBTA card. We've only actually seen 3 or 4 people who actually had or were in possession of an MBTA senior card, and this, of course, replaces that because those original cards are outdated now. The cards now have a magnetic strip, so you can use them. Okay, painting class. The painting class has been moving around. You know, I'm reminded of, I was talking to somebody the other day, there's a movie called Holiday Inn, and in Holiday Inn, very old movie, in Holiday Inn there's a picture of November, and it shows the turkey running around the page, because apparently at a certain time in our history, in the 30s to the 40s, there wasn't a decision, a hard and fast decision on which Thursday Thanksgiving was going to be. Well, the painting class has been like that turkey. It's been running around the calendar for the last month or so. And it started on a Friday, and then it moved to a Monday, and now it will be moved back to Friday using this room and the craft room. The big room was good for them, but Mara, the instructor, wasn't able to continue on Mondays. The class seems agreeable with the change, and we still have people calling to come into the class. Time will tell if this change will work out. Unfortunately, last Wednesday, Mara Castle, the instructor, broke her elbow and then her hip.
Oh,
She was at the
Wow.
Randolph Senior Center. and she was going in to do a program. She got stuck in the parking lot, physically moving her cart, gave it a good shove, went over it, put her arm out to break her fall, broke her elbow. She was in the hospital a while later and felt kind of uncomfortable. She called them in, and they x-rayed her hip. She broke her hip also. So
Oh,
and she had
my Lord.
broken this elbow previously when she was 40. So Mara, I should add, is also the girl singer for Old Kids on the Block, as we all know. They were just here a couple of weeks ago. And the interesting thing is that Mara, as we all know, is a trooper. She will get through this. We don't know when she's going to come back to do painting. We don't anticipate before December. But I want to give you the good news. She is a trooper because as she's lying in bed in the emergency room, right after the x-ray on her hip, she was taking phone calls from different towns who were booking the band. So she's taking phone calls on her cell phone and booking the band, and the nurses are coming in and out and saying, "Are you booking the band?" And she said, yeah, I've got time. So she's a trooper. She'll be better, and she'll be back. But obviously the painting class is going to be on hold, and you can see some of their paintings over here that are half done. It's going to be on hold for a while until she gets back on her feet, and we miss her, and we hope to see her really soon, because obviously she's not going to be with the band for a while either. Moving on to that, the Old Kids Band. The Old Kids Big Band performed to a capacity audience of 60 people on September 25th. The band, it doesn't just seem to love playing here, the band loves playing here as much as the audience loves them. It was a real love fest that day. In fact, they called me the next day to tell me how much they love playing here. Mara Castle, the singer and booking agent, said other venues have them play 3 times a year. So in 2015, we're going to be scheduling them in April, in August, and December. And it just couldn't have gone any better. It was just, oh, and I should add for all you people out there in TV land, the entire concert is out on cable right now. If you go onto YouTube, do the Raynham Channel and the Old Kids Big Band, you can see the entire concert online. So, and please check that. In fact, and the sound quality is fantastic, because I had it on in my office the other day, and it was just like being there.
Oh, of course.
Oh, that's wonderful.
So check that out on cable, local cable. Let's see, Dr. Keeble on arthritis. 34 people came to the program about arthritis given by Dr. Keeble on October 2nd. His assistant said they would be very happy to return next year for a program. And Dr. Keeble is from Good Samaritan. His office is in Brockton. He's also affiliated with Morton, and he teaches at Boston Medical Center. And I have rarely seen a doctor give as good a presentation as this man gave. It was really, really excellent. He started out, he did about a half an hour with slides on a laptop with his assistant. He covered so many things, but it wasn't overwhelming. He took questions. It was just one of the best anywhere that I've, in the last 2 places I've worked, one of the best programs I've seen by a doctor. And the 34 people were very satisfied who came to it, almost all of whom are suffering from osteoarthritis or rheumatoid arthritis and had a lot of questions. And it just went really, really well, and we look forward to having them back again next year. Parking lot and grounds work. The highway department, as you can tell, did a great job trimming trees and shrubs and putting down mulch and installing posts to protect the building from vehicles. I contacted Ed Hardy, the highway superintendent, to thank him and his crews for the work they did, which is spread out over a period of a few days. And as you can tell, when you go out here, the black posts we have out here, metal posts, right along the side of the building. Peggy's laughing at me. They're right around the side of the building. Unfortunately, the parking spaces are very close to the building, and as tragically happened at Brockton Hospital when a doctor and a staff member were killed a few years ago because a car came through the building. There is not much distance to travel between the parking lot and our windows, right here in the administrative area, in the conference room, and in my office. And so those posts were put up for safety reasons, and we thank them for doing that, because we hope that we never have to see if they work really well, but they're there. The Sound of Music. Singing group leader Nancy Donnelly came to me with an idea for a program in the spring, a sing-along to the Sound of Music, where you play a DVD and have the audience appear in costumes from the movie. This interactive show allows people to join in the songs with the lyrics on the screen. Showing this film in this way is very popular all over the world and was recently done at the Hollywood Bowl and at 2 Boston theaters now. And what happens, I mean, those of you out there who remember the Rocky Horror Picture Show was a similar event. In fact, I went on YouTube to find out, which YouTube, has everything on it, and so I went to find out what this was like.
Jeez.
Sure.
That would be wonderful.
It's really, so I went on YouTube to see what it was about, and I forgot which town or which city I saw it on, but there were people dressed as nuns. There were people dressed, there was like 45 Marines. There were a lot of captains, and what happens is that, and what the singing group, our singing group will be doing is actually to be the facilitators. They'll be leading people in the songs, and it sounded like a really interesting and fun party type idea. And people sing along to the movie, and there were all these people singing Edelweiss and
Yes.
Climb Every Mountain, and it was really kind of fun. And I'd never heard of it before, but apparently this is one of the particular movies that they do it with. It's
Sounds
amazingly
great.
You're
popular.
actually watching the music.
You're
of
actually
the movie.
watching it, and when they come on and they break into Edelweiss, the whole audience in costume breaks into Edelweiss, and there were
Well, I
all
think
these
that's
people,
what
doing
be
the.
fun.
It looked,
Yeah, it's
and it was.
fun.
I tell you, I seldom laughed as much as I did watching this. It was so fun. It was really a lot of fun. So we're looking into doing that. Unfortunately, Nancy did get a hold of the DVD. Brought it in last week when she had her singing group, and I put it in the player, and it said. Wrong region.
Yeah.
And for those of you out there who buy on Amazon, there are different regions in the world where DVDs are played, and it's different from ours. And I think we're region 3 or region 1, something like that. And this was the wrong region. This was great for the UK.
Yeah.
It wasn't going to happen here.
That's true.
So Nancy's out looking for the right region so we can actually see it. Try it out, test it first. So that's a little bit on hold, but we're looking at that for the spring because I think it might be fun.
That would be wonderful.
Secret Santa. The program is in flux right now. We're trying to find out who will be in charge. We hear it may be the Slavic family directly, and we'll pursue that lead in the hopes we can, again, help out in the program. We already have people who have done Christmas stockings every year when we get involved in Secret Santa. In Raynham, last year we had over 100 Christmas stockings that were made by people, hand knitted by people for children in Raynham, as well as a huge amount of donations that came in of toys and jackets and hats and mittens, and they also knitted mittens and gloves and things. And unfortunately, of course, tragically, Jeff Finch, who we were very closely associated with last 2 years from the Raynham Police Department, who we just loved working with. He passed away recently, and we still want to be involved with it, just like we have been the last 2 years. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to start collecting. We're going to, we already have some of the stockings, but we still want to be a part of it, just like we have been. And Jeff is a great loss to the town and to us and to this program. It was just, always great working with him. And last time I saw him, in fact, was when he picked up the toys the day before Christmas. He came Christmas Eve day and picked up the toys, and that was the last time we saw him. And we just really want to be involved again. Beginner line dancing. Beginner line dancing is on the 2nd or 4th Mondays of the month, and it's averaging about 15 people. We had been asked to do this because the new people who started in the class on Tuesday felt it was too advanced, and asked less than a beginner group was possible. So the group on Tuesdays is considered an intermediate group, and this is the beginner group. It's on the 2nd or 4th Mondays of the month, and it seems to be quite popular. The Perkins account. All the information required was delivered to Perkins, and we were waiting to hear about the account. I heard on Friday that the account is active, and Bill Nixon, who is our contact person there, is going to check on Bill Nixon, who's our contact person, is going to check about the name on the account, because I was a little concerned over the name, because the Treasurer's office, Diane Warren's name appeared on the letter I got, and I just want to make sure that the correct name, our names, the people who are gonna use it from here are on there, not Diane. She had to sign most of the documents, so that's why, I want that checked, and he's gonna get back to us.
Bill Nixon is the
Contact person at Perkins.
contact person.
Yes. Grandparents, grandchildren literacy. Triumph Incorporated approached us about a project. They have conducted at libraries throughout the area, including Raynham and Bridgewater and Taunton, which has grandparents who are caregivers for their grandchildren come in for a 45-minute, half-hour to 45-minute program to promote reading, and with and to children, and interaction to promote literacy. We're going to ask around if people would be interested in participating in this free program, which is underwritten by Head Start. This would be the first time it would be tried at a senior center. It is geared for children from infants to 3 or 4. And the reason why they approached us, and I should add that I checked with Eden Ferguson at the Raynham Library. I didn't want to be duplicating any programs they might be doing, or indeed, be perceived as trying to have a program that would compete with them. She thought it was a great idea. She was fine with it, with us having it, considering it. And I'll tell you something that appealed to me about this was that when I was working at the library, I worked in the children's room, and a few years ago, and I would say the majority of the people who came in for those programs, the infant to about 3 or 4 year old children, were grandparents, because they were the caregivers for their grandchildren. And that's why I thought that maybe this might be a good idea for us here, if we can get people in, if there are people interested in doing this, to supplement what they do at the library, and which is what Eden was talking about too. Basically just to supplement what they're doing at the library and to offer people another option. And so that's, something we'll put out to people, see if they're interested, if we have anybody who would want to come in and participate in that. It's basically like a pilot program. We tried a couple of times to see if it would work. Upcoming programs. Lisa Sarkis from Shine is going to be here October 9th at 11. Sue Burns Pie Seminar for Raynham residents only, October 16th, 1 to 3 p.m. Lunch and a Movie, October 23rd, 12 noon. Men's Breakfast, October 27th, 9 a.m. The Homestead Act with Register of Deeds Barry Amaral on October 30th at 10 a.m. And Shelley Quello, on Elder Law General Information, October 30th at 1 p.m.
What's the movie going to be, do we know?
I think it's going to be Le Weekend, which is about Le Weekend. I think so. It's a film that came out last year. It's about a couple who go on their dream trip. The 60-ish couple will go on their dream trip to Paris and find out all the things that drives them crazy about each other. They antagonize them about each other. It's a comedy, and it was very well received. It has 2 very good actors in it.
What's the Shelley Cole with the Elder Law? Like, give me a little more info on that.
Well, just general information. I mean, like power of attorney.
Okay.
If you need to protect your assets from, about nursing homes, just basically general elder law
Like
information.
about trust, things like that.
Trust,
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
guardianships, things like that.
It'll be very interesting.
Alright.
Very good, thank you. Any correspondence?
Yeah.
I make a motion to accept the director's report.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So moved, thank you.
Our correspondence, isn't this to Dr. Seuss? I guess I know who this came from. Dear Liz and colleagues, it was so nice to sit down with you and my colleagues on my 100th birthday. The meal was luscious and the company the best. Additionally, the flowers were absolutely beautiful and I enjoyed them for many days. Thank you very much for honoring me on my 100th birthday. Love, Kathleen.
It was wonderful.
That was the best cake, wasn't it?
Oh,
Wasn't that a
yeah.
great cake? Oh my God.
I'm a cake eater, obviously.
Oh, those flowers.
Yeah.
Oh,
Everything was perfect.
oh.
Really?
It was.
And I missed it.
Oh.
So
Well,
Did
see,
we save you any?
I'd like to say we saved you
Did we
one, but
save
we
you any?
didn't. We ate that cake so fast it was.
We all put our fingers in it.
I should have saved you a piece.
Oh, well.
But it did taste good going out.
Snooze, you lose.
Okay, old business?
Okay, the louvered door. John got prices for that door for the
Kitchen?
no the what is that room? The classroom next door where the water tank is.
Oh, yes.
And it's kind of pricey. It's over $300 altogether, $300 to $400. And leaving the door ajar seems to be helping the problem with the corrosion. However, we're going to also, he and I were concerned it might be a mold issue too, so we're going to hit it with a lot of bleach and different chemicals to see if we can, sounds, you know, like I'm doing a hazmat thing here, to see if we can address that mold issue. But keeping that door ajar has been working. It's sometime in the future, if we want, we can maybe put a fan in there, a little fan that could be activated when the doors, you know, we could put on when we need to. But the air seems to be circulating fine with that door ajar, and everybody's been honoring the sign that's on there to keep it ajar.
Can we put a little thing on the door casing so it doesn't shut, in case anybody forgets? That way, you know, just put a little thing so it doesn't.
Yeah,
on the
we
door
could do that.
casing. Yeah.
Little device there. Yeah.
I also heard that if you spray with white vinegar.
Yes. In fact, that's how I handle some of the stuff under the sink at home. That I have that kind of. You get kind of this white stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. On metal.
Right.
It's like that. And I should add. I'm just gonna. We're talking about signs on doors. When you came in today, you probably saw a sign on the
I
door.
was just gonna bring this up, was writing you a note.
Yeah, you probably saw a sign on the door. Did everybody see a sign on the door?
I saw many signs on it.
Did you see the sign on the inside door that said about don't leave donations here?
Yes.
Yes.
Well, I got to tell you what happened last week about the donations. Remember how we had in the newsletter, I think 2 months in a row, and we put out signs that said, please don't leave food donations for the food pantry of non-perishable foods because we were getting outdated food, right?
Right.
Okay. Fast forward to last Thursday, where I'm running out of the building to get somebody's glasses to bring them back to them who's sitting in the arthritis program, and as I came back through the door, I see a little bag sitting there, a little shopping bag sitting there with 3 cans in it. And so I figured, oh no, not again. But you know, I leave it because I've got a program going on. So I run into the program, and I come out after the program, and the bag now has been brought in, and it's sitting on the front counter. And Betty and 2 other people are looking at the bag. And all of a sudden, I'm in the kitchen cleaning up, and all of a sudden I hear, Liz, get out here! So I dash back out. They've opened the bag, and there's junk all over the counter. It's leaking. The cans are leaking. Not only are they outdated, they were rusted and they had split.
Oh, gee.
So
Wow.
it's gone from bad to worse.
Leaking.
And there's me. So you know me. I mean, it looks like I'm getting ready for a hazmat team. I run into the kitchen and get gloves. I've got gloves. I've got paper towels. I've got Clorox spray. And I come back and people are running in to wash their hands. And there was brown ooze all over the counter. So I get more bags, scoop everything up, you know, spritz the bleach within an inch of the counter's life to clean all this up, and threw it out. And I just thank God that John Texera isn't here today, because he would be really over the top about this one. You know, I don't know what more to say. We've asked the people not bring things in anymore. We've certainly asked the people not bring outdated food. This was the worst. I mean, this was absolutely the worst. You know, so the sign went back on the door, and if anybody sees this, please, really, you know, we really have appreciated in the past the donations. There was a basket for many years out in the lobby for donations, but you know, not only do we have to throw it away, we can't pass anything on that's outdated. even if it's outdated by a couple of months. We just can't do it. We cannot pass it on to the food pantry. And please, and in this case, we were talking about this before. We thought maybe people didn't want to go to the dump, or maybe they didn't want to put it in their trash, and they were just sort of dumping it here instead of dumping it someplace else. But this was only 3 little cans. You could certainly put that in your trash and have it tossed out. So please, don't do this anymore.
The food bank will tell them they do not accept any outdated food.
Yeah.
Many times, my husband has brought them home from the food bank. They're outdated.
Mm-hmm.
We open every one of the cans and put it in our compost heap or something just to get rid of it, or take it to the dump if it's something we can't. But people just do not comprehend this.
And this was the worst yet, and really, I feel bad about it, and this time actually I was a little bit angry about it.
Oh, yeah.
And, because this was really disgusting. And so please, and the board, I asked the board to say it to everybody to, just don't do this. It's too bad.
We obviously need a much bigger sign.
I'm
Well, then Friday,
Sheesh.
we had another box
yeah.
dropped off on the city.
Yeah, there was a box sitting out on the wooden bench out front. And it had it wasn't as bad, it wasn't leaking at least, but all except 2 or 3 items in there were also outdated by a few months or a year. It wasn't leaking or anything like that.
That's
So,
awful.
Please,
Yeah.
just don't do it. It's unfair, and it's wrong. It's
Of course
wrong.
it is.
I'd like to make 2 suggestions. One, that we put a bigger notice in our monthly newsletter,
Mhm,
and one that we put it in the newspaper.
mhm. I
And
think
even
and we've
explain
done
the
both, and I guess we're
situation.
gonna have to do it again. It's just too
We
bad.
put it in the
It's
newspaper?
just too bad.
No, Dave?
Yeah, we did.
No,
We
I
did.
didn't see that.
And
I usually see everything, but I've never seen that.
Yeah, we did, explaining why we were doing it. So that's it.
That's too bad. Anything like that goes on. Okay, let's see. We're ready now for donation to COA account at Walmart.
Okay, as you probably know, last month, right after the meeting, I think it was a couple of days after the meeting, as a matter of fact, the selectmen announced that $50,000 had been given to the town of Raynham from Walmart, based on the second Walmart going in on 138. And Dick Chavo, Selectman Dick Chavo, the chairman, had spoken to me a few months ago about this being a possibility, that this was going to happen, but did not give an amount that was going to come in. And then, of course, it did come in, and I received this letter. Dear Liz, I'm very pleased to inform you that a portion of the recent gift from Walmart to the town of Raynham will be allocated to your group. The Walmart gift is the result of months of negotiations which reflect Raynham's unique status as the only town of our size with 2 Walmart superstores. An amount of $15,000 has been set aside in your gift account to enhance your group's activities, programs, and projects. Any balance after the fiscal year 2015 will carry over to the subsequent fiscal years. It is my hope that these extra funds will provide your group with some unplanned flexibility. And that's Richard Chavo, Chairman, Raynham Board of Selectmen.
That's a nice letter.
What
Very good.
What I think we need to think about is the use of this money. We don't have to, obviously it's going to roll over. We don't have to use it today or tomorrow. It's something that's going to be there.
It's
But
already in a donation account.
right, it went into the donation account that day. But, it's something we need to consider for the future, that we can use, and it's going to be available to us. And I think it was very nice that out of $50,000 we got 15 of it.
That's
Oh,
great.
That's a nice jump.
15,000?
Yeah, 15,000 out of 50.
Wow, that's wonderful. Next, the Fire Grant, Cultural Grants, Lions Club donations.
Okay, the fire department came to me last week. They are applying for a grant to implement safety programs for local seniors, using the senior center as the venue for those programs. Chief Janice signed off on it and passed it on to me. I signed off on it. and they're applying for this grant, which they hope to get in the spring. And they would be doing programs here, from what I understand, which would cover things like smoke detectors, CO2 detectors, and also just being safe in your home. How to protect yourself. You know, I don't have an actual breakdown of what they would do, but having done these things when I was in Bridgewater, I would think it would be things along the line of, you know, things like space heaters and safety, space heaters, plugs, you know, cords, being safe with cords and things, and just how to be safe in your home in various ways. And so that we hope will be in the spring, and we're very grateful to them for that. 3 different cultural grants are being applied for to have possible programs here. One is the jazz duo Too Human. Rick Hamlin, who does pottery and will be doing a pottery demonstration in history here. He's going to be bringing a wheel to throw pottery on. Davis Bates, for an interactive storytelling and music program. He has been in several different senior centers. He's also been at the libraries, the local libraries in the past, a few years ago.
And what does he do?
He does storytelling and music, New England storytelling and music, sea shanties. He does a lot of coast-related music, and so they're all going to be applying for cultural grants for the coming year.
What was the first one?
Too Human is a jazz duo.
Oh, that's right.
And the Lions Club. The Lions Club, I learned last week, is going to give us a donation from the sale of tickets for the clam boil that's coming up this month. Tentatively, a check will be presented at the Thanksgiving dinner for seniors. It's going to be at the Lions Club. I think it's November 23rd, but don't hold me to that date. So they're going to be presenting a check to us for, bless you, Peg. They're going to be presenting a check to us from those proceeds.
Well, that sounds good.
From that clam boil.
Thank you to them.
Very good. Do we have anything else to come up? New business? Anything waiting for executive session for?
Sorry, Grace, did you want to?
Yeah, I lost the thought. Senior moment here.
It'll come
I
back.
had to do. Oh, yes. With the fire department, the AEDs, they are going to train us on how to use the AED and the
Oh, the first aid, the CPR?
CPR.
Yeah, I haven't, I've got a note into Jeff Kelleher about that, but we need to set up a date and time. We also need to know who wants to come to it from the board. It would be probably about, I think he told us, Peggy, did he say it was about a 2-hour program?
I think I recall maybe 2
About 2
hours.
hours, yeah.
But you know what? Do you think we could open that up to more people than just the?
Well, see, the thing, but remember what he told us? He was having it for different groups all over town.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's, from what I understood that day when we spoke to him, when we went for that 20-minute sort of refresher,
Yeah.
CPR refresher, he was making it available to different churches and different community
Okay.
groups. So I don't know if we need to open it up to the
I
public.
don't think we'll have a lot of people, particularly here, or.
I really
Like
don't
two
know
or
how
three?
many. I really don't know how many he would, want for it. I mean, I think he'd do it for any amount that
Sure.
showed up, but we could open it up to some of the seniors
But
to see if they want to do it.
how many board members
Well, that's what
Are-
I'm thinking, not too
are
many.
interested?
I've been doing 911.
First aid?
Well, actually,
Yeah.
I'll tell you something. It's probably a good thing for everybody to know the procedures that go on, and also to know, to be eyes and ears. An extra set of eyes and ears is never bad. To watch what's going
That's
on
true.
and
That's
to
true.
monitor what's
Mhm.
going on. So, I mean, you can never have too much knowledge, and in a case like this, in particular.
I
So,
think it sounds good.
think about it, and maybe next month, you can decide who wants to come to it, and I can contact him. I mean, it sounds like something, as long as he's available, he can do pretty much with minimal notice. That's what I understood.
I would guess there would be at least 6 of us that could do it,
Mm-hmm.
including Peggy.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Like
and
1, 2, 3,
John and
4,
Pat might
5,
want to do it.
and
They're not
John
here.
and
Pat
Pat,
wanted
that's,
to.
Yeah.
Sounds
So
good.
7, that would be 7 right there.
And you have to have, did he give any number?
He didn't
We
give
had
us a
we had a
number.
dozen that day who were for the basic CPR we did at town hall. So I think,
We've had it here before, and we've had a room full of people.
because, I mean, the other
He's
thing
got
is
a
too,
video.
well,
video.
yeah, and the other thing is too, is that since some people will not actually be doing the compressions and doing certain parts of it, they'll, you know, like I said, you'll just be there monitoring it, and to get that information, to find out what's going on, to sit through it. It's a good 2 hours to spend for anybody, really.
And then all the board members would probably
That's
come
good.
because of being observers.
Yeah, just to sit in on it.
And probably Yvonne, because of her
Yeah.
position here.
Yeah,
she would
and
be-
because frankly, I mean, you know, they're not gonna be able to do the compressions
Right,
anyway.
I was thinking that.
Yeah.
So you'll speak with him and find out
Yeah.
how many
And so,
he'll take.
and
You'll let us know
I'll let you
a
know.
little ahead.
Oh, yeah.
Good.
Everything I love.
Anything else that come up? No. Anyone have anything to bring up? If not,
As far as I know.
somebody make a motion that we finish.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second it.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
So moved.